10 after the hour 6 on the mighty Metro FM. This is Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. What you just heard there in the kickoff is, of course, Kaitano Swart, goalkeeper for Banyana Banyana, for the first time addressing the things that I've told you on this air, though. Why it is that they were fighting, particularly that last bit when they said, okay, cool, we're happy with what you've got, but what about our technical team? What about our doctors? What about everybody else that we're traveling with? It can't be that we win on the field and we get the glory. What about them? Surely we go down as a team. Thank you so much for that one there. Timothy Miranda. Hey, it's a Friday, guys. Huh? It's Podcast Friday, which means on the phone we've got Pilani all the way down in Durban. In studio, we've got Pro Nadim. It's not Pro Nadim. We've just got Nadim. Nadim said last week that Royal AM are playing jokes. This is not social media. This is reality. They need to do better, otherwise FIFA will find them. A lot of you said he was harsh. A lot of you said no ways. Well, look at what's happened this week. So we'll touch on that. Kaizer Chiefs have signed players. In studio, there was a feeling that they need at least 12 players in order to compete. They need 12 players more than the players that they've already got. They've signed 6. Are they halfway there? It's 12 of the hour 6. Welcome to it. Remember, and I need to apologize to all of you, because when we started this show over a year ago, you know, we planned and we did everything we could and we got here and we worked it a certain way. We didn't realize, and it's our fault. Timmy, myself, Malcolm, Tabonkwala, we didn't realize that the best part of any show, and if you listen to everything we do on the show, the amazing clips are the ones that are at the beginning when we start the show. If you listen to those clips, you'll hear that it's Jimmy Macau there. It's, I forgot his name now, who speaks the English there. It's the Kimberlite there. Because the best part of every show that we do, Monday to Friday, is 18:45. When you guys give us a call, when you guys bring up the conversation, that is the crux of who we are here. And now that we know that, you know. 1845 086 000216 WhatsApp 060 Let's take a break. When we come back, the guys get into the meaty issues of the last week or so. We're not going to do a GOAT today either. We're saving our GOAT conversations, which is the greatest of all time that we've been having, the greatest ever PSL players in each position, because we want to take it on the road. We want to bring it to you wherever we are, gather people and have a live show of it. So we're saving the rest of the position that we've got going on, and we'll get back to that shortly, but it doesn't mean that there's a lot more to talk about. Let's get into it. Exactly 16 after the hour 6 on the mighty Metro FM. Welcome to it. It's Sports Not Amplified with Andile. To all of those joining us live on YouTube and Facebook right now, hey, welcome to it. Spread the word. Got a lot of people on the continent saying they're listening. I had somebody from Uganda saying they're looking forward to the show. I know a lot of people in Tanzania as well that are watching. They watch and they listen through Facebook. Thank you so much for choosing us. Now, they're here. They're in the studio. They're the Friday gang. They're the Podcast Friday. Let me start all the way at Dubane, where we've got Pro Pilane. Pro, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us as usual.
Good evening, good Andile. Good evening to everybody in the studio, and good evening to the listeners of this #1 sports show in South Africa.
Appreciate it, man. And of course, playing left back, his natural position, actually. He's most comfortable there. Is PM Konza, former Bafana Bafana, former Kaizer Chiefs defender. And the most controversial member of the team, last week he had a lot of people bothered under the collar, but keep my tie, but he gets shisa. Nadim Lukela, former SABC researcher. Are you well?
Good, Andile. I'm happy to be here.
Hey man, let's get straight into it. And I want to touch on the Royal AM matter because we started with it, but I don't want to get into it quite now because that was a hot topic for the week. The biggest news for me this week is Steve Kompela leaving Mamelodi Sundowns, where he'd been very comfortable for a while, part of a trio of coaches at some point, but he's always been the most junior of those coaches when you look at how the hierarchy is always set up. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
Because he was promoted to be the second senior. I mean,
if he's second, there's two. There's Rulani, there's Mangoba. If he's second.
Remember when they demoted Mangoba, then Rulani, then Steve was the senior coach, then,
when Rulani took over.
Yes.
Cool. There it is. But what I meant in the longer run, in the time that he's been at Sundowns, was what I meant to say when Nadim. But you're correct in that at some point going through. But he's a coach that we know. He's a head coach. more experience as a head coach than Manqoba Mngqithi even.
Yeah.
When you look at how long he's coached and
Definitely.
how many more teams he's been at.
Yes.
So it's no surprise that he wouldn't want to continue being an assistant coach. I mean, a great brain in Steve Kompela. But it was a surprise to see him leave there because it was always Manqoba who's potentially going to be the one leaving until boom, he's left. Have a listen to this. Steve Kompela being announced by Swallows Football Club as the new coach.
In South Africa, there had always been the tradition of Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and Moroka Swallows. But then Swallows stepped aside, and we left the gap for being mentioned as one of the top. There's great room of improvement. It should be a nice challenge to want to complete that equation. Even when people say the big four, it should be Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Swallows. But listen, it may take 5 years, may take 6 years. It should be our ambition to want to complete that spot.
Pilan?
Hey, I think it's a good move for Coach Steve, leaving that three musketeer that they formed at Sundowns. I think Coach Steve will be happy with his contribution in his first season. I think that's when he enjoyed winning trophies at Sundowns, and now he's going to be on his own again, and it's going to be good. We've been waiting for his post-match interviews as part of entertainment on SABC Sports, and we are going to enjoy it. But most importantly, we are going to enjoy his tactics, his planning, and we are going to enjoy the dollar ball. They call it the dollar ball. But most importantly, to see Coach Steve Kompela back on the bench and leading a team, I think is the most important thing that everyone should celebrate. We really need to have our best brains sitting on the bench, not coaching in one team.
Is it a good signing?
Very good one, because immediately by announcer, the first thing that I looked at it speaks about the club aims. I mean, it's Swallows in the last 2 seasons, they survived the playoff. Last season, position 14, which reflects, it's not a more in the technical report, it shows good you haven't done well as a club. PSL. But I believe that Steve Kompela is a holistic coach. Man, it's a holistic coach. You talk of a coach that knows sports science. But the coaching is no longer just about motivation, man, or tactical part. No. You find out a holistic coach, sports science, physiology, psychology. You find out no read at the body language. So Steve Kompela, I mean, I've worked with him in the national team. I know. Holistic Lupelele, it's a good appointment, and also it gives him an opportunity to show Mzansi, because remember, Coach Chiefs is the only coach in the 6 coaches that Chiefs have acquired who try to play the Chiefs way. Very brave. Unfortunately, amarizasa zanga fike mhlambe iculture la idladleni ke sizomjaja ukuthi yeah, but awudobhanga next awinanga next, but for mina izwa ke Mandile yazi ngikhuluma into ezimnandi njalo. Steve Kompela uzoshaya isipani ku Swallows. They just need to reinforce their Swallows side, because ngequality in order but ihamba yonke.
You've seen they've signed some players.
Yes, it's not a one blanket approach. They need to success we spread across. Coach brings ama expertise wakhe, ama player nawo letha ama expertise wawo kushawa isipani sibuya neindebe.
Nadim.
Yeah, no, it's a very good move for Swallows. Immediately they appointed Steve. I just knew that they are safe from relegation. That's the best thing. That's what I see now, because now they are in the top 8. Yeah. Even though they look like they will be relegated 3 games before the season ended. So I think Steve Kompela will improve Swallows. I just hope they will get maybe experienced players who will support him in his mission just to improve Swallows. I'm just a bit not sure that it's 1 season that they've given him. Are they going to renew it?
1 season contract?
Yes. Yeah. Is it going to do all those things in 1 season? Because obviously Swallows, as Mkonza has been saying, they've been fighting relegation. So you can't do so much.
What does it tell you though when they give a coach a 1-year contract? Because
scanning.
I mean, what do you do with the team that has struggled in the way that Swallows has? There's a rebuilding that is needed. What do you do with the 1-year contract?
It's difficult actually to say what you do, because 1 year is just limited time. We're talking about the team that doesn't even have the quality of players to play in the PSL. If you look at the Swallows team, you see NFD players. Yeah. It's NFD squad. So Steve, I don't know if they're expecting him to do miracles. He's our friend, obviously. We're not going to hide that. We wish him well at Morocco Swallows.
But Keenan Phillips signed a 2-year deal. Lanchane Palane is in talks. Serge Parasnuth has been assessed right now. So those are the 3 players that are most likely to be joining Swallows this season.
Exactly.
Not enough. The team of Swallows need a holistic overhaul.
And most of those players are players that have been released by other teams. Like Palane is coming from Royal AM. So the fact that they released him, so it shows that maybe he was not their key player.
But also, Andile, we talk of 1 year. It's not enough. Let's be clear. This is Swallows FC.
Swallows Football Club, yeah.
Yeah, so agna culture la. We still needs to instill a winning culture, because yes, it's coming from Sundowns where they win a trophy from Nandi. but manje uqala phansi kahle kusho ukuthi foundation usaqala le foundation phansi create a culture. It's not a one, like I said, it's not a one blanket approach. Also he still has to bring players that suit how Steve wants to play. If they're going to allow him to sign the players that are ofunayo ngiyakutshela le project izoba mnandi kakhulu.
Well, there you have it. Coach Steve Kompela moving over to Swallows Football Club to take over that team there. 23 after the hour 6. Let's move on to the next one here. It's Banyana Banyana. The bonuses and the strike. Have a listen to this and then we'll discuss.
We receive a demand from players, and I just want to read it from my notes as to the demand from players as to what it is that they want. That's over and above the $30,000. They want just to wear the jersey. They want 400,000 rand. That's what they want, just to wear the jersey. And if they make it to the last 16, they want 800,000 each. And then for the quarterfinals, 1.6 million, and if they reach the finals, 3.5 million. Now that is the demand, and we are saying that currently SAFA doesn't have money.
You guys, we saw it play out over the last week or so. We were the leading voice for Banyana Banyana here from Sunday when it began, through Twitter and through the story breaking here at the SABC. Pilane, you were front row to it as well. What are your thoughts on this whole debacle? This is it. We're wrapping it up because after this conversation, we begin to look forward to what they're going to be doing out in Australia. Some of the last group of girls, I think, left today. What are your thoughts on this entire Banyana Banyana debacle?
But Andile, the level of disrespect that the ladies were subjected to, I don't wish it on anyone. I hope it will never happen again in South African football. But at the same time, this is not the time where the Football Association should be held at hostage in terms of settling the issue of bonuses with the players. I just wish that everything that the players wanted was.
What do you mean
earlier.
when you say this is not the time?
This is not the time, but Andile, in the sense that our opponents in New Zealand, they've already started their preparations while we are still fighting and arguing about bonuses. And psychologically, it will affect our girls before their first match, because while others were still preparing, we were still fighting. And for me, I think that these are the kind of things that should be discussed prior, before we even talk about booking flights and going to the World Cup in future.
But listen, Pro, let me push back a little bit. 23rd of June, I think it was a Friday, right? 23rd of June, because we were live from the event when they were announcing the players. You can correct me here, because we're all them. We'd all gone through. Yeah. I think it was the 23rd? When was it? It was the 21st of June, in fact. It was the 21st of June that the squad was announced, which means you couldn't have been speaking about money to all the players together because you don't know who's going to make the squad. So Danny says we waited for the announcement first. The announcement happened on the 21st of June. Yeah. Then we begin to start speaking numbers and contracts with them. So players, they can't be the ones that they can't strike on something they don't know. Yeah. They have to wait for the contract and the amounts to come to them after the 21st of June announcement. So when then do we have time to speak about all those things and strike? Perhaps we should find a new model.
As a leader of an organization, in my humble opinion, I think that the president of SAFA should have been proactive in this one, and he should have been prepared for those kind of conversations. My point is that he shouldn't have gone to the level where the players were to go on strike. The association should have been prepared prior, and whenever the players were ready to talk about the issue of bonuses, the association should have had a proposal that was in players' favor, so that we don't get an embarrassment that we saw before the Sakane match.
I think for me, Andile, it's very important to highlight and commend Banyana Banyana for standing out in terms of the unity. Remember, unity can beat any system. And one would question the timing. I'm saying there's no better timing than Lescatless, Andile, because like so Kulumile, 14 days after the E23 Andile, we've selected the final squad. Already by that time you create a system that it's a model that SAFA needs to sort out. We need to have a structure and a system that when our players are going for a tournament, going forward, our structures which are correct. We still have to come back and sit, and there's no better way or to show Banyana to say no, but so and it's a good tournament. Next week, Lama team prepared already. Those are structured. I'm going to tell reporters so good to HIV, the country so
you did in England,
but how often do you get those stories?
Not often.
We understand. So now we can't be part of the situation. We need to sort out our structure. Timing for me was correct. because there was no other time ebangalwa ngayo, because already ushilo what 28-23 sababizile final selection. But again, I like the fact that they also include the supporting staff, which shows a unit within that club. I'm hoping and praying to see Otolama results lapaya.
But now the pressure, Nadim, on this team, because now you've had this huge fight with this huge support. Now I can imagine, and they're in a tough group with Italy, Argentina, and Sweden.
Yeah, no, now the next important thing is to play those 3 games at the World Cup and win. Hopefully they will go to the next stage. Obviously it's difficult because Sweden is a very, very tough team and Argentina not easy team. You just wish, I agree with him, Konza, that this was the right time to actually solve this matter. There was no better way than this one because you're not going to come after maybe they come in the next group stage. It's gonna be difficult. So they did well for themselves, and it's unfortunate that Safa, immediately after they won the AFCON, they were promised all equality, that they will be treated the same with Bafana and all those kind of things. Immediately they win, then it's different. I think they did the right thing, because they were promised, you create the expectation that you'll treat them the same as Bafana, but you don't. You take them to Tsakane, a pitch which is a gravel road and all those kind of things. So, yeah, it is a gravel. That pitch is not good. So
gravel road.
Yeah. So, and you expect them to go. Imagine if they get injured, then they're out of the tournament immediately. It's a lot of things. If you say they've been playing. I know Banyana because I was close to Amanda Dlamini a lot. So I know them. I used to go and watch them, and I know the Israelis. I know how they've been ill-treated all the years. But now you promise them that, actually it's Minister Natim Tetwa, supported by Danny Jordan, that now they will get fair treatment. But they're not getting the fair treatment. What should they do? Just what you promise them, then you move away from your promises. I think they did well to just fight for themselves.
In 1996, when Bafana won AFCON, they were staying at the same hotel as what Banyana Banyana is staying in today. And that hotel, Moit still has the same bed. You know, so you ask yourself, would they put Bafana up at that hotel, for instance?
No, they wouldn't.
But you know where it is, here in Portsmouth. Do you think that Bafana would stay in that hotel? Even PSL players, PSL teams don't stay there.
Yeah.
And this is the team going to a World Cup.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself questions like that. But let's move on.
And you also promise them that you'll treat them same as the men's national team.
Then they should stay where the men's national team stays.
Exactly.
In Sandton, don't they?
Yeah, true.
They stay in Sandton.
Yeah, they should stay there.
So then the girls should be staying in Sandton.
Yeah.
But Andile also the financial recognition, it reflects a value, man.
I thought during this fight, the very next day you announce a sponsorship that is only for Bafana. I thought that was very deaf of Safa. Why Ngalindang?
No, it wasn't deaf. That's who they are. They don't really care about women's football. It's there because I know that Fran Hilton Smith is the one who's been pushing women's football. Danny Jordan doesn't really care much. That's who they are. They didn't see a problem. They thought those girls why that's why it was easy to replace them and call other players, showing them that you are replaceable. You can easily call other 13-year-old to come and play and replace you. So it was those kind of things.
Yeah, true.
Let's move on. It's 6:31 on the Mighty Metro FM. Remember, at 45, your calls are the most important at 086-000-216-0 to engage on any of the conversations touched on here today by Nadim Konza as well as Pro Pilan. Konza, let me come to you with this one. 21 hours ago, Richards Bay Football Club releases a statement that says, Richards Football Club would like to confirm the appointment of Kaitano TEMBO as the new head coach. Kaitano TEMBO is a familiar face in South African football. He's got premiership experience coaching the likes of SuperSport United and Skukune United Football Club respectively. We'll welcome the coach and wish him all the best. Kaitano TEMBO is the new head coach at Richards Bay.
The first thing now, if an appointment lab is Swallows. When you look at Richards Bay appointing Kaitano, the first thing that I said it speaks about the club aims. Richards Bay are saying they just want to be in the league. But ambition enough to say we want to compete and be competitive as a club. It goes back to when you appoint. Let me just put it like that. We're recycling, but what is Kaitano done in terms of the requirements that were used in order to appoint to Kaitano? I've got nothing personal against Kaitano, but I'm like, okay, this says a lot. Good to Kaitano, what are you saying? Halfway through the season, okay, what's the thinking process here, club? What is the club ambition versus club's ambition? I feel good in Richards Bay now. They are lost with their appointment. I've got nothing against Kaitano, but appointment incorrect.
Sponiso Komete Uchomo is going to be his assistant there in that team. What do you think, Pro Pilane?
Utomo, but Andile, we've seen him as a player. He was a very, very good player, but I think he had a good season again with the TDC side. Yeah, Richards Bay, and this promotion, I think it comes in handy when there's a new coach at the club, and he's going to learn. And I'm happy that we are seeing new faces in the DSTV Premiership in terms of assistant coach role. And I'm happy also with Musanya Chama, the president, the Swallows, is going to learn more from Steve Kompela. Utomo is going to learn more from Coach Kaitano. There's also Unine Vilagazeta Amazulu, who's an assistant to JP. These are the young coaches that are going to learn, and we're hoping in the next 3 to 5 years' time, they are going to be head coaches.
Pro.
Yes, sir.
Uyofunda yini? Mawangitshela nje ukuthi uyofunda yini angizokushaya ngizokubamba ngesandla.
No, there are a lot of things that we need to learn in coaching.
I'm listening.
Besides shouting the tactics, and we talk about the match preparation, we talk about the planning. These are the guys that are exposed, so they can learn all these kind of things. And there's also an element that they can learn in terms of recruiting the right players for the team, and recruiting the right players for the club, so that the team can grow. If you look at the team like Mamelodi Sundowns, they always do progressive.
Okay, Pilana siqale pha angiphendulanga mina
uthini Pilana mina ngimuzwa.
Mbuzo nangu ukhona.
No, it would be like I'm trying to start a fight.
Uthi Jomo uyofunda ini?
Kukaitana.
I'm just asking that. Ngiyabuza. I'm not undermining.
Are you trying to say to me Coach Kaitana isn't a good coach?
Of course it's not. It's not. It's not a good coach. Skukune sacked him after two wins from 12 games.
Wait. You must resist this edge of criticizing every coach that you don't feel which is good is not good enough in your side. I think that is not good enough to everyone. If Coach Kaitano was not a good coach, he was not going to be appointed as SuperSport United.
Emotions.
He was not going to be appointed as Sekukune. He was not going to be appointed at Richards Bay. There are certain qualities that all these teams see in him that they feel Look. If you don't feel that is good enough for a job, don't make it everyone's problem that you don't see him as a good coach.
No, Pilan, I disagree with you. You are so wrong. SuperSport fired him for a reason. Sekukune fired him after 12 games. He had only won 2 matches. Then they replaced him. So that's the reason. He didn't walk out of Sekukune having done well. 2 wins out of 12 matches, a relegation side. They knew with the kind of investment they make, with the kind of players they signed, that they will be relegated with him. I'm not sure why Jobo Biela hired him, because last season they survived relegation just by drawing with Royal AM. Otherwise they were going down. With him, he's not a good enough coach. That's the reason he has not been coaching. And that's why he was sacked at Sekukune, because his record was bad. We're not going to say he's your Rulani Mkwena who won the league with 15 points. We're saying he's a good coach. We're saying other guys who have done well, they're doing well. But him, he has not done well to justify as a good coach. He has never won a trophy.
He's going to humble you. He's going to humble you.
Of course, you said that with Atazwane. What happened? You said he's a good coach, he'll do well at Chiefs. And then what happened with him?
Chiefs, even was not given time.
No, he was given the whole season. So you can't tell me good. I mustn't say.
Atazwane would have turned things around. You would have done something. Just like you're not giving Molefin Segi a chance. Just give coaches a chance, and I think before you could.
No, Pilani, you're not gonna tell me what to say or what to do.
Hold on.
I see things. His record. No. His record is bad. 2 wins out of 12. Ask Kukune owners why did they sack him after giving me a contract? Because they didn't give him a 12-game contract. Remember?
Yeah, true. I know, but also Pilani, the reason Buza like questioning Ibuzayo, Utruta inherited team Makoporoshe. They've signed 19 players. And Kaitano was meant to hlanganisa akenike yonke into, but if you look at the way shenga khona uKaitano ne SuperSport where before was umfaka itayera, that team was bemakoporoshe bekumosheke yonke into. And if the first thing a coach that you identify, it's when he creates a structure and the identity and the mentality. Mara mawubuka isikukune ubona amahulupolo amaningi. So that's why ngibuza ukuthi uJomo uyofundana. Yes, uJomo ngidlale naye kuMazulu, mara fanele athole udriver strong. Mawudriver ngo-L angeke ubuye la ku-PSL. Isikhathi ama-motivation azisekho fanele ukwazi yonke into.
Okay,
well,
maybe
I'll tell you what. What I'll do is this. I mean, what we'll do is, because we archive all of this,
so
we'll archive Pro Pilani saying he's in support and thinks the coach is going to do well, and we'll archive the two of you.
Remember,
saying
I also supported Ncube.
It's fine. We'll put all in there, and then at the end of the season, you did Pro Pilani. You actually did.
Support everyone. I mean,
I'm not reason to Pro. I'm making
637. Let's go.
We all go to church Pro. Don't worry about
that. I even supported you, Mkonza, when you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to this one. Royal AM, through their lawyer, Loro Matubajana, is speaking to us exclusively here about they feel that Nokovic isn't, and I want to put it so that I don't misquote him, is entitled to 0. Have a listen.
Ryan AM is saying, if at the end of the day, and after reasons were given, and after CAS has considered the matter, and we are found to be on the wrong, the appropriate amount of money that will be due to the competition will be paid, but not 12. Like for now, I'm saying up with disputing the award, even the computation of the award. The award on merit and the computation of the award. In terms of the merit, we believe he's not entitled to anything. He's entitled to 0.
There you go, entitled to 0. Nadim, because you had a very strong opinion about this last week.
Yeah. I think mina Andile, I'm a married ale case, maninga cool, but also the very same token, the question that I asked you to Nokovic, immediately team sign a player, the first thing you do is a medical test. And the question that you need to answer, did he do medical test the Royal AM? Because the Royal AM are the ones that wanted him. So we need to find out when's the medical test. Medical test, then that's a departure point here to Sugalapo, but also the element of asking Pafia Gunjan 12 million. Gunintes buyer man, 12 million my precatan must be the calculation right now. But
it's going to be such a good, this is going to be such a good payday. He hasn't played one official match. He just played Makufe, and then he played JDR, trainer Lapane, HPC. Yeah. He hasn't played a single official match, and he could be walking away with 12 million pro.
Yeah.
Pro?
But Andile, sorry. My only problem is that, the issue here on AM in KC is going to be uncertain. I just wish the team can just focus on playing football and they just focus on doing things right. And I really don't want us to spend 5 or 10 minutes of our airtime talking about Royal AM and their cases. I just wish these matters can be sorted every season. We can't have a team fighting our lawyers and going to CAS and being banned and all. We saw what happened when the team was banned. And we've seen our team being deducted points by UEFA, and we've seen our team escaping this ban by paying the players what is due to them. I just wish they can sort this matter out and let the team focus on playing the DSTV Premiership season on a clean slate. That's my wish with Andile, and that's my contribution when it comes to Royal AM and this matter.
Nadim, I want to let you close this one, because last week you said that it's not going to go Royal AM's way, that they need to do a better job of management, etc., etc. And I think, there was a lot in what you said. You heard and you were listening to the conversation with the Ruma Tobejana over the week. What are your thoughts?
I honestly think I still feel they are handling this matter very wrong. They need to call Nikovic and negotiate with him so that they close this matter, because the more it drags, now they are left with one chance that they must win their appeal. It's case. If they don't, then they will be paid from signing players, of which that will mean they will be relegated. They will be fighting relegation with Richards Bay. And all those kind of teams who are not planning the season properly. I honestly feel Mamkhize should get people. Sinkemnis did well when he was there. The team improved from the NFT, even when they went the PSL. They finished in the top 3. He needs a kind of a guy like a Sinkemnis who understands football, who's been there around and all those kind of things. And otherwise, he can just live his glamorous life out there. But the team is very important, that it needs to be proper focus, because the lawyer, immediately the lawyer said he deserves 0. Imagine you sign a player, you give him a contract, and then you have a lawyer who says the player deserves 0. And as Mkonza was saying, when he was signed, was there medical checkup and all those kind of things? Because how do you sign a player who's injured? If you commit to sign him, even though you know that he's injured, you need to make sure that you'll support him up until he's fully recovered. I honestly feel this matter is handled wrong by Royal AM. I wish they could not be banned, but if they continue going the way they are, it's going to be difficult for them to start the season without signing any individual.
Kaizer Chiefs, yep.
The more big squad say Royal AM, Banyana, because saying
it's the Mighty Metro FM. That's the Sports that are amplified with Andile on a Friday. It's a podcast Friday. A bunch of guys that sit around and speak all things football. The last one, Kaizer Chiefs. They've signed 6 players. They've welcomed today Edson Castillo Ufigile at the Kaizer Chiefs village. He'll be wearing jersey number 17.
So it's 7.
And then 7.
And
Is
remember
Castillo the 7th or the 6th? Because he just hadn't arrived, dang it.
Yeah, 7. So they announced 6 on Wednesday. So
he was part of the announcement. He just wasn't here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He just wasn't here. He's just arrived. Pule Modi is in there. Tutuzi Mtanzani is one of the players. Kevin Msimangwe as well. Tayone Ditlokwe as well is in there. Tatayo Yaone rather Ditlokwe is in there. And of course the man that we spoke about here, Ranga Chibabiro, is also in there as those players. Pro, let me come to you so that these guys can catch a breath, because what do you think? 6 players signed by Kaizer Chiefs. How much of a difference do they make? From 5th, do they make them get into the top 2 perhaps?
I think Kaizer Junior and the entire family can close the checkbook now.
They can close it,
right? They can close the checkbook now.
Okay.
I think they are safe. I think now Pulemodi is there and he's going to help them a lot. But my 2 key signings are definitely Msimangu, not Ditloko at the back. I think those 2 guys are really going to help Chiefs in terms of stabilizing the defense. And I know that whether they play Kune or they play Buma or they play Peterson, they won't concede a lot of goals with those 2 guys at the back. You must remember that Msimangu played every single minute here at TF Galaxy last season, and the partnership here and Fanoka was it was actually the best partnership in the PSL last season. But for me, I think those 2 guys are the best signing. Ukapilo, there's nothing much one can say besides Wusubonama clips I view from YouTube, and we know what YouTube has done to us in the past. But we'll wait and see. After 6 games, then we'll allow our supporters of the Kaizer Chiefs to talk. But for now, I can safely say Amakosa Bui.
Okay, Tateone Ditlokwe, as well as Kim Sumango says, those are great signings. Mkonza?
Support Sundowns.
Oh,
yeah, support Sundowns.
What do you mean? He says they must close the checkbook. They've done good business.
So that Sundowns continue winning the league. Obviously, it makes sense.
No, Chiefs still need to reinforce Andile. It's
over and above the 6 players retaining Kune, the conversations with Kama Billiard, they need more.
Yeah, if I look at reinforce out there are positions that needs to be reinforced, especially from the offensive side. I hear Ukulma Msimangu played all the games go TS Galaxy Chiefs le out Mamelo ngadlala 30 games go Arrows ubuye ngapha udlale 2 Chiefs le. But Andile walking into Naturena it has become a norm. I don't know Ganjan, because the last 8 years also reflect to Guti. We've made a mistake in terms of the policy of signing the players that were signed by Kaizer Chiefs. Walking into that Naturena village, it's not normal out. Let me tell you one thing. I feel you're a professional player, but I pray for their success. I pray for their success, because good Chiefs is not just about ability. It's ability versus character and personality. Good player enough. So the stress salaba, you need tenacity to be able to survive good Kaizer Chiefs. And I believe with Menagula Masaning about Sanide, Uchiva Viro will be a success. More depending on how it starts.
Yeah, well done to them to sign 6 players. At least they're doing the right thing, signing players. They knew that their squad is not good enough. I still think they need more 6 players more. Because even the squad that they are replacing are really not good enough players. If you look at how they've been playing.
So you think they need 12 players signed this season? You've said this before.
Yes, they do. Because even some of the, maybe only 1 or 2 can enter the starting lineup. Tutuzu Mtatsane and Ranga in the 6 players that they've signed. It's not like, I don't know the other one, as Pilane said. So I honestly feel they still need to sign more. I disagree that now they've closed, they've done a good job. This team cannot win the league or any trophy, this Kaizer Chiefs team that they've signed.
Are they better than a Cape Town City, a Stellenbosch, a SuperSport United, the teams that are in that top 4, top 5 competition?
That's the thing. Kaizer Chiefs is a special team, I mean. Even when you're at the stadium watching the team, it's so different. You can play for another team, but when you come at Chiefs, you see, you were talking to Manyama yesterday. He was a player of the season when he was at Cape Town City. When he was at Chiefs, he was just a normal player. That's how difficult it is to. Sometimes even Msimanga, we can say he's a good player because he plays for TS Galaxy. We know Tim Sugas said he's joining Chiefs so that he plays for Bafana Bafana. He was not going to play for Bafana Bafana, playing for TS Galaxy. It's so difficult. Even there are lots of players who came with high hopes at Chiefs to cement. Right. When they reach there, it's difficult for them to even crack it and become the players. The Chiefs, the supporters also, they're impatient. 1 or 2 mistakes. Start on a back foot. You're already a bad player today.
Right. We've had our time, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I have to close it here. Close their mics, all of them, Malcolm. We've had our time. It's time we throw it over to you. 086 000 2160. Let's start perhaps with your voice notes that you've been sending on 060 552 7303. You've heard the say, we spoke about Royal AM and the ban that FIFA's now given them that they can't sign any players until they've paid 12 million rands to Nokovic. Swallows have announced Steve Kompela. Chiefs announcing 6 new players, including one that is unknown to us. We're going to find out who he is because watching clips is just not enough. Banyana Banyana we touched on, as well, of course, as Kaitano TEMBO joining Richards Bay. What are your thoughts?
Good evening, Andile. Banyana Banyana, I believe there's a good chance like you complain about the increase or the bonuses. because ke kuyanyanzeleka ukuthi xa befuna ibonus banikwe because sebehleli bezilungiselela ukuthi like bazoyodlala pha e-World Cup e-Australia, so bekunyanzelekile ukuthi yonke into abayikhalelayo baze balungiselela.
Good evening, Andile. I think our football in this country, especially at SAFA, is run by mediocrity. People who don't understand football at all. I mean, you could even see the way the girls played on the weekend. That actually that team was being put on the field by the SAFA structure people, and then the Desiree had to go there and coach those ladies. And if she had actually refused, she was going to lose her job. So believe me when I tell you this, that when those girls come back from the World Cup, Desiree Ellis will not be the Banyana Banyana head coach. Take that from me. And you can play that clip after the World Cup. If Desiree continues to be the head coach of Banyana Banyana, I wanted to play this clip because I'm telling you now, on this very Friday, that Desiree Ellis will not be the Banyana Banyana head coach when Banyana Banyana comes back from the World Cup. I submit.
Wow.
Why?
The team, the Banyana Banyana that played against Botswana on Sunday, because it wasn't the one going to squad. Pro, the team that actually played, team yakabom Cons.
Oh, yabona ke manje James. Yathanda ukungcolisa yazi.
Team yakabom Cons. There's nothing we can hide from. Let's take some of your calls. You're going to have to help me there to see what's going on, Malcolm, because I want to take as many as possible. There we go. Tabiso, out in Tsakane.
Hey, how's it?
Tabiso Lungsani ground.
Bro, come on, Kim Con, the front side look is.
Talk to me. You hosted Banyana on Sunday. What are your thoughts?
About Banyana Banyana?
Well, about whatever you want to talk about, really. Go for it.
No. In fact, I want to talk about Kaizer Chiefs signing. Whatever thing, and now I think, okay. You only need another striker and also a goalkeeper because the second round is coming. You will be seeing that Chiefs should reinforce while we had signed 12 players in the beginning of the season. So I think they only need to add a striker. The second round, we will see what is going to happen.
So you agree with Nadeem? They need at least, he says 6 more, you say 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more, not 6. Six. I mean, not that Chiefs was bad last season. They were playing a very good football.
They finished in 5th, my brother. They finished in 5th with 44 points. Sundowns at 70. They were almost 30 points.
Chiefs.
Do you support Chiefs?
I know.
30 points.
Look, I'm not saying that they had enough points to compete with Sundowns. But what Ada did, I mean, he brought back the style of play of Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
The only thing that they needed is to reinforce.
Which team do you support?
No. I'm supporting Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
All right. No, Tabi. So I hope you call halfway through the season.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. He's watching live, of course, on Facebook. There's a backbone about to Facebook. I'm a 6 pack. Let's go to Dixon. Dixon is out in Guamhlanga. Dixon.
Andile, how are you?
Hey, no, I'm always strong, man. Talk to me.
And our guests there in studio.
As usual.
I hear you guys keep saying Chiefs. The Chiefs is a big team when you go to Chiefs. It's not when you go to Sundowns. That's where you see the cream of the crop of the South African football and international players. Andile, how much did Chiefs spend on players? About 8 million for how many players? How much did Sundowns spend only for one player?
So Sundowns is bigger because they spend more money.
Andile, as long as teams like Chiefs and Pirates are still buying the squad, wanting to win the league and the Nedbank Cup, they will never catch up with Sundowns. Sundowns is buying players to play Champions League, to play Super Cup. That's why when they come here at home, they just like walk on the park. They just win.
Okay.
Mara Dixon Chiefs team enkulu
was saying they've got more supporters than Sundowns. They don't need to say fans must come for free at the stadium.
It used to be a big team.
Dixon, let me ask you this. And this is a conversation that we need to have, actually. And I think next week, Friday, Timmy, let's jot it down here.
Yeah.
What is for you the measure of a big team? What makes a big team?
A big team big team is Barcelona, big team is Manchester City, big team is Bayern.
So Man City is bigger than Manchester United.
They are still performing even now. You cannot keep saying having a take of a big team only with supporters only. But on
is Man City a bigger team than Manchester United?
In terms of the squad that they have now, they are bigger than Manchester United. We cannot keep saying Chiefs.
You know what? I'm a United fan, and I agree with you on the Manchester United versus City. Dixon, I appreciate it, but I think Lega Dixon, because it's a very big conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one that we can get over now. But thank you so much, Jimmy. Please do jot that one down. Let's go to Mduomnyama. Mduomnyama Sempangin. Hi, Genagyo.
Yes, Bob. No, I want to comment on the Bafana issue.
Bafana, okay. Let me hear it.
On the Banyana.
Oh, okay. Now you're fan the Safi Talk to me.
No. The focus should be on Safa. We shouldn't judge Bafana. Whatever way that they're going to perform there, we must blame Safa.
So it doesn't matter if they lose every game 7-0, we must blame Safa.
If they lose every game,
why?
Except them. They are running Safa. They should have sorted the money issues. You know, Andile, when you're having a company, when you are running a certain organization, you know how much you're going to pay your people. They knew that a certain number of players will go overseas, including the technical team. They should have known, they should have had the structure that they would pay them so much when they go through and pay them so much when they get to the next round.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
So it's not their problem.
So
as for Kaizer Chiefs, I as an Orlando Pirates supporter, I can't comment on that. But I think they're doing very well. They must keep it like that.
Yeah, but Ushil as a Pirates supporter, so I see Bale. Let's go to Mudise. Mudise is out in Johannesburg. Mudise.
Hey,
Mudise, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go for it.
Yeah, man. I just want to ask maybe, which coach do you rate? Because every coach you bash.
I rate Steve Kompela, I rate Mangoba Mngiti.
Yeah, but reality is, if you look at what Steve did at Chiefs, he failed. And we all
you ask me which coach I rate, I'm giving you the names.
Let him ask you the question.
Because, you know, I don't think Kaitano TEMBO is a bad coach. I just think at realities in football, you need a big budget. So he's gone to teams with small budgets. So will he save Richard Bay? I think so. But will they finish top 8? That's a debate. It doesn't make him a bad coach. Also, just last comment on Chiefs. Guys, Chiefs have done well this season. Maybe we don't have a star-studded coach. The challenge with these big teams is you've got to hit the ground running. Just like
you're saying they've done well this season. Are you talking about the signing of the coach and the players?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mainly the players. Forget the coach for now. And I just really think we've got to give coaches a chance. Right? This is like just any other organization. You bring on something new, someone new, people just complain. So let's give people a chance. Let's get them to run. Chiefs just need to sign a striker. Then I think we're good and ready for the season.
All right. Thanks so much, Mudise. The last one, Nadim, because you've got breaking Orlando Pirates news.
No, I thought maybe you should also highlight it that they stopped doing what they were doing, where they will finish the season on a high note. Then they release 8 players. Yeah. At least now they've started.
How many players have they released?
No. Only they've released one, which is Collins Magaka. But the rest, Richard Ofoli, Monare, Mponchane, Ben Mutuari, they're staying. Their contract has been extended.
Tabang.
Hey,
talk to me now, Machita.
Number one, I just want to say, Nadim always have good points. So it's nice listening to the guys. But today it's very rare to see Nadim on the very same team with Umkonza. But
they're getting up on pro.
I see. And then another thing, I'm waiting for our post-match interviews with Komphela versus our very own Fatifera's Komphela. So it's going to be nice. And then lastly, all the best to Banyana Banyana.
Right, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. On a Friday, it's always jam-packed. If you weren't able to get in, terribly sorry. Hey, listen, man. If you're going to come and take the guys on, please do. You're more than welcome to disagree with every point they make. Propilani, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I'm a one-man show, but Andile. I stood tall against the tech team. Good wrestling, Bang Bizo, Stone Cold Steve Austin.